Cordial greetings everyone, especially to our professor, Mr. John Patrico Galesco. We are excited to share our work with you. Let me start by introducing myself and my group mates. My name is Shane Marian Datulia.
I'm Devera.
I'm Asuncion.
I'm May Bachansila and we are 2 CSA.
And now we'd like to introduce our zoo inventory system. It's a simple Java program designed to help zookeepers and staff to manage the animals in their care.
So in this video, we will be programming a simple zoo inventory system that lets zookeeper easily manage animal records. They can add new animals with details like name, species, age, and the enclosure number. The system also allows them to view all animals, search for specific animals by name, count animals of a certain species, and display all animals in a particular enclosure. It's basic but useful tool for keeping track to the zoo's inhabitants. Now let's go to the program.
In our program, we start by importing the scanner class so we can read input from the user. Then we created the main class called Project Prelim. Inside this class, we declare 4 arrays, one for animal names, one for species, one for ages, and one for enclosure numbers, each able to hold up to 50 animals. We also included a variable called animal count to keep track of how many animals are currently stored in the main method. We use a scanner object to take input and set up a while true loop so the menu keeps appearing until the user chooses to exit. The menu shows 6 options: add an animal, view all animals, search by name, count by species, view by enclosure, and exit. When the user selects an option, we store the input in a variable called option, and we also use scanner.nextLine to handle input properly. We then use a switch statement to process the choice depending on what the user enters. The program will call the right method like add animal or view all animals.
Now let's discuss about method to add animal. First line, public static void add animal, scanner. This is the method signature. Add animal is a static method, meaning it belongs to the class, not an instant class, that takes a scanner object as a parameter. The scanner is used for user input. We use if condition. If animal greater than or equal to 50, system.out.print zoo is at full capacity, cannot add more animals. These lines check if the animal count has reached or exceeded 50, the maximum capacity of the zoo. If so, it prints a message saying the zoo is full and cannot more add animal, and return. Exit the method without adding any animals. Next, system.out.print. Enter animal name. Animal names at index animal count is equals to scanner.nextLine. This prints a prompt asking the user to enter the animal name. The nextLine method reads the enter line of the text entered by the user and assign it to the animal names array at the index of animal names. System.out.print. Enter animal species. Animal species that at index animal count is equal to scanner.nextLine. This prompts the user to enter the animal species and assign the value to the animal species array at index animal count. System.out.print. Enter animal age. Animal ages at index animal count is equal to scanner.nextInt. This line asks for the animal's age and stores the input in the animal ages array at the index animal count. The nextInt method is used to read an integer value. System.out.print. Enter enclosure number 0 to 4. Animal enclosure at index animal count is equals to scanner.nextInt. This asks for the enclosure number between 0 to 4 in which the animal will be placed. The nextInt method reads an integer and it stores it in the animal enclosure array at the index animal count. Then scanner.nextLine. After reading an integer using nextInt, The next line method is called to consume the leftover new line character, animal count plus plus. This increments the animal count variable by 1 to keep track of the number of animals in the zoo. System.out.println. Animal added successfully. System.out.println. These lines print a message confirming the animal has been added successfully. Then last, the closing bracket for the add animal method. Now, now let's discuss about view all animals method. Public static void view all animals. This is the method for view all animals, which is a static method that doesn't take any parameters. This method displays the details of all animals in the zoo. We use if condition. If animal count is equals to 0, system.out.println, no animals in the zoo. Return. These lines check if animal count is equals to 0, there are no animals in the zoo. If so, it prints a message saying there are no animals and then exits. The method using return, then method using return. System.out.print all animals in the zoo. This line prints a header message for the list of animals. We use for loop. For int I is equals to 0, I less than animal count, I plus plus. This is the beginning of a for loop that iterates through all the animals in the zoo. It starts at I is equals to 0 and loops until I is less than animal count, the number of animal in the zoo. System.out.println, name plus animal names, index I, plus species plus animal species, index I, plus age plus animal ages, index I, plus enclosure plus animal enclosure, index I. Inside the loop, this line prints the details of each animal. It accesses the animal's name, species, age, and enclosure using the index I and displays them. And last, the closing bracket for the view animals method.
Today, I'll walk you through two essential functions for a basic zoo management program. Specifically, it let us search for an animal by name and count how many animals there are for a specific species. So, the first method is called search animal by name. When the user runs this method, the program asks them to enter the name of an animal. It uses a scanner to read that input. Then, it goes through a loop, checking each animal name in the list to see if it matches the user's input, using equal ignore case so the search isn't case sensitive. If a match is found, the program prints out the animal's full details like its name, species, age, and enclosure. It also sets a flag to indicate that the animal was found. If it doesn't find anything, it prints a message saying no animal with that name was found. Second method is count animal by species. This one also uses scanner to get user input. This time, species they want to count. It loops through the array of animal species, and for match, it increases a counter. At the end, it prints how many animals belong to that species. For example, if you type lion, it might there are 3 lions in the zoo.
Now let's explore the view animal by enclosure method. This part of our system let user list animal in a specific enclosure. This method, view animal by enclosure scanner, takes a scanner object to get user input. First, it prompts the user to enter an enclosure number. Scanner.nextInt reads the number and scanner.nextLine clears any leftover input. The found variable starts as false. We'll use it to check if any animals are found in the enclosure. The for loop goes through each animal in our system. Inside the loop, the if statement checks if an animal's enclosure matches the number that the user entered. If it matches, The animal name, species, and age are printed on the screen. And found is set to true to show we found at least one animals. After checking all animals, if found is still false, a message is printed saying the enclosure is empty. In short, this method gets an enclosure number, check each animal, and display the animal in the enclosure, or message if it's empty. And now let's dive into testing and debugging. In this part, we'll systematically test each features of the system to ensure its reliability and identify any potential bugs. First, let's test the add animal features. Let's now select the option 2. Next is enter the animal name. Let's use Kobe. Now, the species will enter cat. For the age, let's say Kobe is 2 years old. And finally, the enclosure number we'll use the number 1. As you can see, the system adds and display a message that you successfully add an animal to the system. Let's add 2 another animals real quick. Now, let's test the view all animals feature to ensure it displays the data correctly. We'll select the option 2. And as you can see, the system displays all the list of the animals we added earlier. This confirms that the data is being stored. Next, we'll test the search animal by name feature. We'll enter the name that is in our system and not in the system to see how the system responds. We'll select the option 3. Let's try to enter the name Gabs. As you can see, the system displays a animal found, and the system displays Gab's details too, including his name, species, age, and the enclosure number. But what if we type a name that is not in our system? Let's search for an animal name that doesn't exist in our system. Let's try to find the name Fluffy. As you can see, the program displays a message that the Fluffy we entered is not in our system. Now, let's move on to test the count animal by species feature. Let's select the option 4. Let's say cat. The system displays the number of cat in the inventory, which would be 1 in our example earlier. Let's try to count a species that doesn't exist. Let's say it's unicorn. Well, as you can see, the system displays a message and a 0 because there is no unicorn at the zoo. Now, we'll test the view animals by enclosure feature. We'll select the option 5. Let's enter 1. Now, you can see the animal that is stored in the enclosure number 1 with their names, species, and age. But what if I enter an enclosure that has no animal stored in? Let's say number 3. As you can see, the system displays a message and how many animals stored in that enclosure, which is 0. And finally, let's test the exit option. We'll select the option 6. The system exits cleanly, ensuring no data loss or unexpected behavior. But what if I accidentally enter the number 8, which is not in the option in the system? Let's try it. As you can see, the program throws an invalid message and then it will ask you to try again. In this part, we truly tested the zoo inventory system, covering all its main features. We identified potential issues and demonstrate debugging techniques. And that's all. Thank you for watching!